Huples cat. Is prepping going mainstream? Does it actually matter? Well, maybe. The more people that prep, the better society can withstand things like Hurricane Dorian. But the other problem with it is if you have a major calamity like a nuclear war, the more people prep, the more survivors there'll be in the short term. So helping people prep is part of why I'm doing this. But at the same time, I am aware that it's a little bit odd because the more people that are prepped, the more competition I might have for extremely scarce resources in Grid Down. So that's why this video is here. Because a company I love, that I have no financial interest in and I'm no way affiliated with, called BioLite, has started to target market me, and I think others, with a selection of bundles for emergency preparedness. And although, like everything BioLite, they're pretty pricey, and we'll get into that, they're actually a good way of getting essential supplies for a sort of a reasonable cost. But first of all, let's get into the advert for BioLite, which in no way at all is getting me any discounts or anything at all. It's just what I actually think. I do think kit needs to be daily reliable, week in, week out, for months to hopefully years in a major grid down situation. You are paying for that when you buy expensive kit. And you're also paying for brand loyalty and all the other things that human beings get trapped with. But for me, I'm not that brand loyal. I would absolutely switch from a company other than BioLite if I could find comparable products. I can't. So when you look at the prices and you say, whoopers, I can never afford that, I say, yes you can, save your money up. Be intentional about your purchases. Delay today in the hope of buying better things tomorrow is actually a classic human thing that about 20% of us do, and that's why about 20% of us have wealth and don't have credit card debt. I get it, money's tight. But something as simple as a battery charger, I mean, would you pay $40 American for one of these? So there's a lot of these on the market from various companies, so why have I gone with these? Well, I actually bought one. This is the, I believe, the 5,200 milliamp version. And I actually bought the 10,400 milliamp version. And after quite a few months went by, they actually finally emailed me and said, look, we can't get it. We can't get the manufacturer to make these anymore, but we will give you, for the same price, 2 of these, plus a 10% discount coupon, which I haven't used, and I'm not sure if I will be using it, but I'm going to think on it. Because you can buy too much stuff to help you prep. And I've got an awful lot of stuff from BioLite, and I'm really happy with it. So this is the other one out of the box. Now, why did I buy it? First off, I'm used to BioLite, I'm used to their cables, I'm used to the fact that you can recharge this using USB connection. I have solar panels that work with that from BioLite. I can actually attach this to my stove, I can attach this to the big lights to recharge this or recharge them. And I found on my trip with Kitty, the stove alone wasn't enough with 2 of us using flashlights from BioLite. It worked, but I was a little, The other problem is that although the panels worked great, the one panel, and I have about 3 or 4 of them, we would be able to keep charged up probably even during the winter. But you get a lot of extra power produced, and I felt I wanted to store that power for when you might get 3 or 4 cloudy days in a row. Seemed to make sense to me. This is pretty heavy. It's made out of metal. It has a nice little clicking top that's rubberized. I'll do that again in case you didn't hear it. Okay. Now $40 American. That's a lot of money for one of these. You can get comparable products probably for $20, $25. So this is made in China, like almost everything these days, but designed in Brooklyn. So there you go. But the reason I got this particular make is because of the compatibility, but also a special feature of this, which I think is very, very important. You have lights on here that will actually tell you how much charge is, 4 full lights, it's fully charged, etc. But this has one really key function that I wanted to get that fits my needs. It might not fit your needs, but it does fit mine. So it's dunk proof. It is not waterproof, but it's better than water resistant. So when I'm kayaking and I have it in my dry bags, which I'm very happy with, they took a pounding on the last trip and stayed completely dry. But you never know. It rains, tents get blown over, you spill drinks. So I haven't used this field tested yet, but I've used a lot of BioLite stuff and I like it. The base lantern, as I said, broke when I dropped it when I got home from the kayaking trip, and I'm still going to try and repair that. That was a kind of a disappointment, but it is a bulky piece of kit, and the chances are that would only ever be used in the home or the bug out location in any event. So all BioLite stuff does have the protective covers on them, and the silicone rubber in a good quality, and my cook stove, I've used it multiple times, probably maybe about 50 to 100 times at this point, and it's showing no sign of wear or breaking off. Again, longevity is important to me in a grit down situation, not cost when I buy it. When I open the top, it clicks and it was bone dry. As you can see, you've got power out and power in. Not a bad piece of kit. I'm actually kind of happy I ended up getting two of the smaller ones and one of the large big ones. I wanted the large big one just as an emergency standby to actually gather power when it's warm and keep it, when it's warm and sunny and keep it. But two of these are going to be much more useful for me. Taking one of these is going to be much more useful. I claim it will charge a cell phone twice. It will if it's like my old Samsung Mini. But for most modern phones, you'll probably get maybe 40 to 55% charge out of all of this. That's what I would assume you're going to get. And it will charge a tablet up to 50%. Again, they're talking about small, basic tablets. I'm not talking about iPads like I have, but even a quarter charge would help in certain circumstances. I can actually charge my GoPro, which is actually a very useful thing. So I won't have to cart more than 2 batteries with my GoPro when I go on trips. I can just count 1 or 2 of these and top it up, because GoPros are pretty heavy on the battery life. So I'm just going to quickly flick through what these guys are selling for preparedness, and I think it's really interesting that this company's finally getting into preparedness. This is a LifeStraw Family 1.0. Now I have the LifeStraw Mission 12 and I really like it. I'm not altogether convinced that this is a good product for being mobile, because I think that container is solid, but it actually has a lot of use, I think, for a lot of people who need to filter water effectively for viruses, bacteria and protozoa in a non-mobile situation. And yeah, $70 American is kind of expensive for a filter, and it is single use, but it will last for a lot of things, like 4,755 gallons, which is 18,000 litres. So they're saying 3 years of drinking water for a family of 5. Yeah, drinking water, not sanitation, not shower, not cooking. But still, 2 or 3 of these might be a short-term solution before the water gets clear where you live. They do, of course, actually sell a Solo Light and Power Go Bag. So they're actually getting into it quite heavily, if you notice, go bags and stuff like that. So it's limited edition. You can only get it September 2019. They do this when they introduce new bundles or new kits. They actually quite heavily discount them. In this case, they're giving you $20 off. So you get the basic LifeStraw. Again, I wouldn't really rely on that in the field. I'm taking my LifeStraw Mission. I need a lot of water. They do actually give you one of the cell phone chargers, which is kind of nice. And they give you a sunlight which recharges from the sun. They're the square battery ones. I bought 4 of them when they came out at a huge discount. They're really good. They work very well. A stuff sack, yeah, okay, whatever. And a rechargeable headlamp. I do not have any of their headlamps. Maybe that will be a future purchase for me. So for a massive $50 off, you can get, in September 2019 only, for $310, you can get an apartment kit, emergency bundle for 2 to 4 people, it claims. It has the microgrid light and all of that stuff, and I've got one of them, and it's pretty decent. It's got 2 of the handheld square ones, which are pretty decent. They've got the sunlights now for them, so you actually can put your headlamps in them and make a lamp. And of course a basic LifeStraw. Again, I would argue this is probably not the greatest idea to try and ride out problems. If you have one LifeStraw for all of these people, for 2 to 4 people, that's pretty going to be irritating, isn't it? Anyway, I would definitively get a gravity fed one, either a basic cheap LifeStraw 1.0 or the LifeStraw Mission 12. Ideally, you would have a Berkey filter in place, and that would be the better option. The radio is not the greatest, and the light's not the greatest, but I actually think that the kit is worth getting on its own for that, and that's why I bought it, and it's in a Faraday cage. If you spend $460 American, I know most of you are going to go, no chance, you'll save $75 on this special offer in September. You have the microgrid plus the lights and the charging gear, which is utterly essential. It also has the AC adapter to keep it charged up before the lights go out. Again, if it's a long-term lights out, it gives you a head start, but that's about all the use that is. They have the headlamps, they have the stuff sacks, they have sunlights, which is better than the candle. And they do give you the Life Straw family in this bundle. But again, I would shop around. I wouldn't necessarily buy this stuff from BioLite. You might want to go to Life Straw themselves. You might want to look on eBay. You might want to have a good thing. But this is ticking boxes here. This is an emergency bundle for families. Families that have got to the $460 can buy this, put it away, and feel safe. And that's what people are selling, both in the mainstream now and have been doing for a long, long time online. Selling a false sense of safety. Well, there you have it. Remember, in grid down, tomorrow will always be worse than today unless you prep. And part of prepping is buying kit that is technically going to assist you and help you in grid down in a way that will be reliable in grid down conditions. Okay? Toodles.